Hello friends, this is Dr. Amarjeet Kaur, Professor of Accounting and Business Communication at the Department of Management, Gurugram University, Gurugram. I am very happy that I am here with you to talk about virtual communication. So, as the name suggests, the term communication, we all are well aware. When we use, communication is done virtually, at a distance with the help of certain tools is virtual communication. We will talk about it, its meaning in detail. Let's understand little background. So, communication has been and it continues to be an important factor for workplace productivity, collaboration through many workplaces, and it has actually transited to having some or all employees work virtually. That is no nowadays what is happening. So, though we have been witnessing that workplaces are changing, they are transiting to having virtual employees, or having atmosphere or work environment where employees are allowed to work virtually. But nevertheless, communication has been important and it still continues to be important factor, to ensure the productivity of a business. So, communication is most important. Although the virtual communication, it has started way back, with the invention of telephone, but now we have an advanced like webcams are there, webcams are there, video conferencing is there. So, they are making or they are helping us for instant communication, and they are helping us making virtual communication more effective. And this virtual communication has become really very important and effective after COVID times. After 2019, the COVID has hit, the virtual communication has become as important as it has never been before. So, today we use virtual communication in almost every sphere of our life, be it family, be it we are communicating with friends, we are communicating at our workplace. Everywhere virtual communication has become an integral part. And one of the tools that helps employers to hire, to build, to strengthen teams across the world is actually virtual communication, because this is giving flexibility to employers to hire a person from any continent of the world, from any corner of the world, because the employer knows that I shall be able to interact virtually with the help of certain electronic tools. So, this is becoming very important that people are hiring people from other parts of the world while trusting on virtual communication. Virtual communication can certainly help the team, which there is no denial, right? It can help the team succeed, especially through training or status updates or when they are working on common projects. And many organizations, they are using many advanced tools to facilitate this communication, the effective virtual communication. So, they are supporting their employees who are working remotely, and this is how the remote work is getting popular, and then the percentage of remote employees is increasing every passing day. And especially this surge in remote employees and consequently the remote communication or virtual communication is, there is a surge post COVID days. So, what is the meaning of virtual communication? Virtual communication is the exchange of information and ideas using electronic means between people who are not in the same physical location. It can be done in synchronously or asynchronously and can involve a variety of technologies. Let us understand this. So, virtual communication, what is happening in the virtual communication? There is an exchange of information like any other communication, right? Whenever a communication is taking place, we are expecting some kind of exchange of information, data, knowledge is taking place, right, between the sender and the receiver. That is what the communication is. So, some idea is being transferred. How effectively that has been transferred will depend upon the noise, the feedback, many more factors, the mind state of state of mind of the receiver and the sender. There are so many more factors, but nevertheless communication remains the exchange of information, sharing of information, knowledge, ideas, any such thing. When that exchange is taking place between people while using some electronic means, electronic tools, that is what is known as virtual communication, especially when people are not in the same physical location. So, there is a rider. Communication using electronic means may happen while people are sitting at the same place. But when people are not at the same location, the other person or one person could be in an adjacent room, adjacent building, adjacent another floor, another country, another city, right? But they are not, the sender and the receiver are not physically present at the same location, right? They are at different locations. So, that is what the virtual communication is. It can be done by synchronously or asynchronously. So, synchronous and asynchronous is basically when a person is physically seen, can be seen, or is actually talking to the receiver who is not sitting at the same location, but at some other end. For example, if I am delivering this lecture at this moment from the CEC studio and somebody is listening to me live, right, would be an example of synchronous, right? It is synchronously delivered. While the same lecture which is available, I was talking today, if it is available later on any YouTube or any other channel, and somebody is watching and listening to me in future, but not now when I am live on air, it would be an example of asynchronous, right? So this can involve variety of technologies. When we do either of the two, synchronous or asynchronous, it involves variety of technologies. Some camera is needed, some relay instruments are needed, so many more technologies are needed for that purpose. But in both the case, this is an example of virtual communication, right? So, that is how we have two types of this, synchronous and asynchronous. Now, virtual communication is the process of interacting with others from distance, even if the sender and receiver are not in the same room. Virtual communication helps to hire candidates who live even far away from the company's location and allows for productive meetings and other collaborative efforts. So, what does it mean? It means this virtual communication, what we are talking about, is a process. And what is happening in that process? There is an interaction with others from distance, right? So, I am not sitting close to you. I do not know if you are listening to me at this moment, you may be sitting in India, you may be sitting in outside the India, you may be sitting in Delhi, or you may be sitting in Haryana or Rajasthan or any other state of the country, right? So this is a process of interacting with others from distance. And and even if the sender and the receiver are not in the same room. So this is a very good example of virtual communication, and virtual communication helps businesses to hire those people who live even far away from the company's location, and this allows very productive meetings, and it can actually help teams to collaborate effectively with the people who are having desired skill set. You may not have a person in your location, right, who has the desired skill set to solve a particular problem. But due to this virtual communication, thanks to this virtual communication, the company can actually reach out to somebody who is really an expert, can help the team to solve the problem. So this can actually end up or result into very productive outcome. Further about the meaning of virtual communication, it refers to the use of digital tools such as emails, text messages, chats, video conferences to relay information between people who are not physically face to face. This term is typically used in a business context where a team or an entire company is working remotely full time or in a hybrid manner. So, this is the virtual communication when I am trying to explain it to you. If I further go into details, it is actually referring to use of tools which are known as digital tools. The digital tool could be just an email, could be a text message, WhatsApp, we are sending WhatsApp today, or a message, just a message, SMS which we call. It could be chat on any platform. We have many companies who have chat boxes, who have actually people sitting in their locations and they are answering to the queries of the customers on the spot live. So, that is also a communication, that is also, but that is also virtual communication. Video conferences, we all know there are so many platforms, I need not to name, there are so many companies, and during corona times we were teaching through those platforms, right. So, this is basically use of any digital tool to relay the information between the people who are not physically present at the same place or not same face to face. And this term virtual communication is actually very commonly used nowadays by the businesses, and where especially when the entire company is working remotely, or they are working full time and mix of hybrid manner, the full remotely and full time both. Yeah, for few days people are coming to work in person, for rest of the day they opt to work from home. So, that is a hybrid manner, hybrid culture. So, that is actually there is a reverse. There were times when everybody was given or allowed by most of the multinational company to work remotely, but gradually people found it that there are certain problems, especially certain emotional problems and collaboration problems while working remotely completely. So, now companies are encouraging to go into hybrid model. People are allowed to work a few days, to choose a particular day or two in a week when they are allowed to work remotely, and for rest of the day they are supposed to come to the location of the company, at the location of the company. So, this is a hybrid model. In such case also the virtual communication is very useful tool. And lastly, I would say that in essence the virtual communication is a mode of communication that uses technology, both audio and video, to communicate with people who are not physically present, and they can be in the next room or other floor or neighborhood or even miles away. So, this was the essence, this was the crux, I believe, of whatever we have discussed so far, which clearly defines and states two important things, that people who are communicating are not physically present at the same location, and some kind of technology is being used in communication. So, when these two conditions are fulfilled, that communication becomes virtual communication, right. So, now I would talk about the benefits of virtual communication. What are the benefits of virtual communication? So, there are a couple of benefits I am going to talk about. So, number one, it increases high productivity. Number two, increased job satisfaction. Number three, timely communication with customers and clients. Number four, more collaboration. Number five, cost effective. Number six, it is very fast. Number seven, secure. Number eight, helps promote global business. So, let me explain these benefits to you now. The first one is high productivity. So, how it helps in productivity? If we should not get confused when I am talking about virtual communication, that it is only the video conferences or meetings through Zooms or Google Meets, etc., etc. If we are using a telephone, right, even that is also virtual communication. So, virtual communication started with the invention of telephone, all right, and now the mobiles are there. So, what is happening? The moment a team, most of the teams would have their WhatsApp group or certain groups on certain platforms. There are a couple of platforms which are used where everybody is live all the time, and any query by any of the team member with regard to the ongoing project is answered, is catered, request is catered immediately, right, without loss of time. So you can imagine, if there is no phone and you want to seek a clarification, how would you do that? You will have to drive, you will have to take a train or a plane to reach to the person and seek answer. Here what is happening, we are just posting our question or query or request either on the group, we are just picking up the phone, we are just scheduling a meeting on Zoom or on Meets, and our problem is resolved, is answered immediately, and certainly there is no loss of time, and that is how the productivity goes up, because the concerned person in that team will take up that problem, will address that query. Number two, the job satisfaction goes up. The moment, because of the virtual communication, everybody gets a chance to express and to contribute, because for times, if it is a face-to-face communication, for times because of hesitation, because of low confidence, people may not be able to answer. But since it is a virtual communication, I have an option to write a query, write to individual, write to all. So, I would have more job satisfaction because I would be able to contribute more or rather better. Then the third is the communication with customers and clients both. It becomes very timely, because there were times when there were no phones, nothing. So, everybody, the customer will just script, and then he or she will like to just switch over to other product or service. That was the most likelihood outcome in such situation. But now, once we have customers and clients who have some query, some concern, they are answered immediately. That is why most of the insurance companies, most of the banks, they have the chat box. There's a robo, or there's a GAI generated answers, but questions are answered immediately. So there's a timely communication between customer and client because of the virtual communication. Customer need not to pick up the product and go to a particular store. The question is answered immediately, be it a concern about a flight, be it a concern about with some airline, be it concern with some government nowadays even the government officials, they have their some chat boxes available, or some phone option is there, helpline numbers are available. These all are meant for improving the customers and clients experience and answering their queries timely. So, that is the third benefit. The fourth one is that it is more collaboration becomes possible. Nowadays it is possible to consult a super specialized doctor across the world about a particular problem anybody could be facing in a particular country, or a team a team who needs a expert opinion from outside the team or from other continent of the world can actually reach out and collaborate. In our industry, in academic industry for example, we are able to collaborate with researchers of other universities, because it is possible. We will have a Zoom meeting, we will decide the topic of research, we will exchange ideas on mails, on phone, on WhatsApp, and we are able to come up with a good research paper, or we are able to write books or projects together. So, this collaboration has become possible only because of the virtual communication. The fifth point, as I said, is very cost effective. Imagine the information or person going in person to another country, another city, and seek input and seek clarification about a problem, or to get a advice on the problem. Whereas you just need to pick up a phone, you just need to make a phone call, or to reach out to a person on message or WhatsApp, or or a Zoom meeting is so cost effective, right? We are actually saving a huge amount of rupees or dollars because of the virtual communication. Number 6, it is very fast. We can answer the queries immediately on the spot, or it can reach 2000 people parallelly at the same point. For example, if I am talking here, it is reaching out to millions of people in the country, right? It is so fast, this virtual communication. Else, if I am going personally to 10 different locations, 10 different colleges and going to talk about virtual communication, it would have taken days. Here I am able to reach out to masses with the help of this virtual communication, right? It's very fast. And for most of the nowadays, security has been taken care, though it has been an issue, is still a limitation, but most of the virtual communication platforms are becoming secure nowadays. And the last benefit is that it helps promote global business. It has become possible to run business globally because of the virtual communication. Fax was there a couple of decades ago, even that was virtual communication. Written communication was taking place, but now we have even more faster communication. Email is even faster. There were problem with the fax machine, fax, because there were a lot of machine and process was involved. But nowadays the global businesses are just at a blink of an eyes. We can answer the query, we can reach out. People have a single platform. For example, Salesforce. There are so many more such platforms where companies have built up their own ERP, their own softwares, and the entire team is. So those softwares, those platforms are secured, which are prepared or generated internally by the company themselves, right? So the global business has really become more convenient, or and has become really robust because of the virtual communication. So these were the benefits. Now I would like to talk about the tools. So though we know by this time, I hope you all understand what all tools are possible, but still I would like to name a few. There are a couple of tools which are used for virtual communication. Number 1, email, virtual meeting platforms, internet calling, video calling on phone or phone itself, instant messaging on various platforms. So email, I think we all are familiar with all the tools I just mentioned. Email has become a very important tool, and it is interesting to observe that now even the courts of law, even government institutions, government officers, they have started accepting communication on email as a formal and legal way, right? So email has been accepted so widely and is considered the most formal communication in corporate world, and in public sector also it has been accepted now. And this is a very good news that most of the universities even have started accepting email communication as official or the formal communication. Virtual meeting platforms are there, like Zoom is there, Meets are there, and there are so many more. Companies have developed their own platforms for that matter to ensure security of data. They have come up with their own exclusive platforms even. So those are also the tools. Internet calling is also a tool of virtual communication. We can call on WhatsApp while using internet, right? We can pick up a phone and call a person, anybody sitting in any part of the world, be it Australia or be it North America. We can call any part of the world. Video calling, as we all know, video calling through Skype, through WhatsApp call, there are through Facebook, through Messenger we can make a call, phone call. There are so many options. Of course, phone is also one of the tools for virtual communication. And then we can do instant messaging also on various platforms. For example, we can message on Instagram, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on iMessaging. There are so many such, I just have named a few only. So they all are tools of virtual communication. They really are become part and parcel of our life nowadays, and they are helping the businesses to run their businesses effectively across the world. So I hope friends, I was able to help you understand what is the meaning of virtual communication, what are the benefits of virtual communication, and the tools which are used in virtual communication. With this, I would like to sign off now. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you.